Okay, here we go. It's Garrett. Let's see what we can do here. For about 5 videos in a row, we've been talking about how long people used to live in the Old Testament. So we started off in Genesis. And where we're leading is, we're slowly leading to Nazi Germany. We're leading to the U.S. secret space programs. And we're leading to what's going on right now in the secret world that none of us get to hear about. We haven't played N'Zoth in a long time. Usually I don't pick him, because depending what cards the Lord gives me, depends if I can even go Death Rattles to begin with. So you might want to start watching my videos about 5 videos ago when we first started. But we talked about how there was a sheet of ice surrounding planet Earth, and that was creating a greenhouse effect for the men, women, boys, and girls who were living down on the planet. And we talked about how in that greenhouse effect, they were breathing a quality of oxygen that you and I could not even dream about breathing. Modern times right now tries to mimic that level of oxygen in hyperbolic chambers. Hey everybody, could I please ask you a favor? If you don't mind, scroll down below, click our subscribe button, because we could really use your help. Thank you very much. Hyperbolic chambers are used by sports athletes, hospitals, medical clinics, and you can even buy some of the portable ones and have one at your house. And what that does is the athlete is, or the person who's sick, is breathing in that high quality of oxygen, and it does just wonders for the person. We talked about in the last video, if you or I were living 500 years, what are all the things we could possibly work on? Definitely go back and listen to the prior videos, because there's some really cool information. I like the little demon. There's the quill boar.
You've got a rich gold vein there, don't lose it.
I froze because the quill boar might be able to bring me in a couple blood gems every round. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like N'Zoth too much. It's a little tricky to activate the death rattles in order. And, you know, let's be honest.
Remind me never to cross you.
The hero powers and the buddies, they're not balanced. We'll make the demon golden, the little imp. There's the other demon we might want to consider.
You ain't sharper than me.
I didn't do it! I swear!
Oh, you could take the coin if you want. I think we should freeze for that. So we've established that people were living 100 to 900 years in the Old Testament, all the way up to Noah's flood. And it is my belief that during the flood of Noah, the barrier of ice surrounding the earth was destroyed. And with that barrier of ice being destroyed, now there's going to be some rays from the sun hitting the people down on earth that are going to escalate the aging process. So it's my belief that that barrier of ice surrounding the earth was used by God as a powerful tool. Number one, to have people live longer, and then during the flood to have it destroyed. Now you probably heard on the internet about in the past some of the prehistoric animals being frozen, and they were frozen so quickly that they would even have food in their mouths as they're being frozen to death. It's my belief the barrier of ice surrounding planet Earth got destroyed during the flood and rained down that freezing ice particles into certain sections of the earth. And many of the animals and other things were instantly frozen dead. Instantly frozen. Okay. I'm starting to like this build.
Got a rich gold vein there, don't lose it.
I was very tempted to switch to Quillbores right there, but I hope I did the right thing, because I could have froze both of those guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays out.
Don't take it too hard. They were fighting dirty. You're really taming the West now. Always good to have backup. You staked quite the claim. Now you've got to defend it.
My wife called me, and it was kind of important, so I had to mute the microphone. We took a bad loss right there.
Wild horses couldn't drag me away from this.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Lord Jesus has just handed me Quillbores on a silver platter, but like I'm being stubborn and trying to push the demons, I guess. I don't know.
I'm hogging all the power.
Now you might be thinking, well, Garrett, how could Noah's flood, how could the flood of God destroy the barrier of ice surrounding the earth? Because the greatest way that God brought water to flood the earth was underground water. The water underground shot out with incredible pressure way up into the sky. In my opinion, it destroyed the ice barrier, became freezing cold, and rained down ice particles back on the earth, where they might call that the Ice Age. It's not the Ice Age. It's the water from the flood, which was located underground. As the plates, the tectonic plates squished together, it forced the water up in pressure so high, I can't even describe it. Like maybe 1 trillion nuclear bombs. And that's how the ice was destroyed, in my opinion. That was blocking the sun's harmful rays. Not really harmful, but aging human beings. I've went back and forth in this build. I've gone back and forth, back and forth. I'll say this for the second time. I could have had a incredible quill bore build if I would have transitioned to quill bores about 5 turns ago. It would be looking fantastic. Now think about this. If you're living 500 to 900 years, just imagine if you practiced Taekwondo for 30 years. You would be an 8th or 9th degree black belt. Then you switch to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 30 years. You would be a grandmaster. Then you switch to weapons, the swords, nunchucks, staffs. You would be an expert at weapons. Imagine if you spent 30 years on 5 different forms of martial arts. That's only 150 years of practicing. You still have 500 more years to live. There's the Titus. I think grabbing that Titus could really advance this terrible build. Okay, now what are we looking for? We want a triple Titus. Anything that could really help?
You got them right where you want them. Right?
Fighting the ghost was a big deal. It gives me some breathing space. Cause I'm almost dead. So I can't even explain how badly I needed the ghost here. But forget about martial arts. Let's say you always wanted to be an architect. You could take 100 years of your life designing buildings into some of the most amazing structures that humankind has ever seen, and you would still have 500 more years to live. We're taking Leeroy because we're dead. Yeah, we need Leeroy to do something. We just really do. Now, men and women of God, don't kill me. But my quill bore build would have been off the charts if I would have made the change. It would have been off the charts by now.
That one's a regular around here.
I'm gonna need Titus and Leeroy to show up big for me. So imagine you're an architect and you're studying for 100 years how to build cities out of diamonds, out of gold, cities out of bronze, cities out of titanium. You're studying how to build buildings and skyscrapers. You're studying how to build underground cities, underground bases made out of crystal. Can I share something with you? Am I dead? Okay. All right. We have 3 health. Can I share something with you?
This'll put grit in your craw.
I myself have seen photos of structures and cities up on the moon You heard me correct. Up on the moon that went miles high and were hypothesized to be made out of crystals. These are buildings and cities going a mile high up in the sky, made out of crystals or diamond or some type of exotic materials like that. As you can see, if you will be patient, I'm leading to Nazi Germany. I'm leading to spaceship technology. I'm leading to the secret U.S. space program, and I'm leading to where we are right now. I have seen these photos myself of the most amazing structures up on the moon, of architecture that we cannot possibly see here on Earth. Can we win this? I'm checking the health. It looks like we're okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry for panicking. For a second, it looked like it was a tough fight. All right. We have got to fix up this build. We need to replace that quill bore with another Leeroy? All right. So tripling Titus would give me a chance to stay in this game.
You got them right where you want them.
Now remember, the people before Noah's flood, they're living 100 to 900 plus years. If you wanted to build buildings, if you wanted to study architecture, if you wanted to study exotic materials like building cities out of diamonds and titanium, building cities out of diamonds, gold, and crystals, you would think after 100 years or 200 years of studying this, there's a Titus. Okay, we got one. You would have thought that you would have mastered it, right? Exactly. What can we do to fix up this build? All we can do is triple a couple of the cards. It was too late for the fell bat, so I didn't grab it. Okay, we got a chance. Titus can't die yet. Okay. Do we have enough? I have only a 29% chance to win. Do you know that 29% chance just came in? What a miracle. All right, let's triple Titus.
Remind me never to cross you.
And it would be nice to triple the demons. Do you see where I'm leading now? If you could live 500 to 900 years, you would have mastered architecture like what we're seeing on other planets. There's a triple. That's going to help. Now, do we want that spell?
Now we're talking.
Do we want the spell for anybody? No. Or I'm not sure. Now, Titus has to stay alive. If I were to tell you that people were flying airplanes before the flood of Noah, would you believe me?
You're on the right
That's exactly what we've seen in hieroglyphs. That's exactly what we've seen in paintings. It's exactly what we've seen on caves and on mountains and drawn on rocks. It's exactly what we've seen. Now you might be thinking, well, Garrett, if that's true, how come I haven't heard of it? Because they cover it up. It's being kept secret. Are you kidding me? We made it to the final boss with this build. Man, my Leeroys and my Titus are doing work. This is incredible.
Now that's a partner you can rely on.
I grabbed the spell to see if it might hit somebody with a lot of health. Can we triple the demon any way at all?
Always good to have backup.
We're on the final boss.
Always good to have backup.
And for men and women of God, if you're not believing anything I'm telling you, don't forget, God spoke through King Solomon telling us that there's nothing new under the sun. If we had airplanes, they had them. If we had guitars, they had them. If we had computers and internet and designing architecture, they had it. Maybe not exactly the same way. Look at that placement on Leeroy. All right. It looks like we won. We have an 84% chance to win. Yeah, it looks like we won for sure. Praise God. That was a satisfying victory. Yeah, there's no way to lose here. We got a Leeroy. I would say Leeroy is the MVP along with Titus. That game was satisfying. I want you to meditate on all that could be happening if you were living 500 to 900 years.